Everything you need to know about losing weight and drinking ketones is here. Truth is, you just want to burn body fat, but we're going to talk about both. Hey y'all, Dustin here, and been coaching for over 2 decades and using and drinking ketones for 10 years. Been coaching people around the world on performance, on anti-aging longevity, and yes, on how to lose weight. More importantly, how to transform your body and learn how to live the new life once you lose the weight. Do you know that 90% of people gain all the weight back in a year? And 63% of the people gain more weight back on a traditional or fad diets or shots or whatever they're trying, but not with us and not with ketones. And there's a lot of reasons why. But first off, what are ketones? Ketones are a pretty special thing because they're a primitive fuel, meaning our ancestors had lived or spent a lot of their time in ketosis. It's a very natural state to be. Babies are born in ketosis. Pregnant women go into ketosis the easiest. Why? Protects the fetus. It's an important survival mechanism, but the benefits are extraordinary, and ketones are an energy, so they basically provide a sustained energy to your body, and they absorb very easily without insulin. So when your body's under stress, your body's overwhelmed, your health is jeopardized, ketones will still get to where they need to go and help heal and repair your system. And so the benefits of ketosis are simple. The first biggest one is ketones are a fuel, they're food, they're an energy. They have 5.7, 5.8 calories per gram, which is more than carbs and protein. And so you get this fuel very easily. You don't need insulin to uptake it. So if you're somebody that's maybe tired in the afternoon, struggling, you're like, why do I always want to reach for food? Or why am I always reaching for an energy drink? You're not getting fueled properly. You start using ketones, you're going to have energy through the day, you're going to be focused through the day, you're going to feel great. So ketones are vital for the brain. They actually help the brain. They now have scientifically shown that ketones are actually preferred by the brain over glucose. Yes, your brain loves glucose, needs glucose, but it really likes ketones. And that's why we see people with mental clarity, focus and mood improvements because of the neurotransmitters and how it balances it out. Super awesome. Also, ketones clear out damaged protein in the brain, which is great for longevity, anti-aging, and memory, and all these amazing things for the long-term health of your brain. Ketones protect muscle loss. When you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to lose muscle. You want to protect that metabolism. Super important. Ketones help with sugar and carb cravings. So think about this. If your mood's better, you have more energy, mental clarity's better, your brain's working better, you're craving less carbs and sugar, are you more likely to lose body fat and lose some weight? Yes, right? Ketones are what I believe to be one of the most important things is overall it creates a biochemistry in your body. It helps things like the GLUT4 transporter. Helps with your body converting have more brown fat versus white fat. White fat bad, brown fat good. So it's creating the environment for your body to be sustainable, to get healthy again. If you're healthy while you're losing weight and you keep getting healthier, you're going to be able to create a lifestyle to sustain that. And this is super, super important. And one of the biggest things that miss. So take my sister, for example. She's my sister, a drug addict, in and out of prison, 100 pounds overweight. She's only like 5'3", maybe 5'4", 5'3", 5'4", 100 pounds overweight. Can you imagine? That's crazy. That's carrying a 12-year-old around on her back all the time. Well, 8 weeks in, her body's getting healthier, starting to transition, starting to shift, and then boom, it started happening. She lost 100 pounds in just a little over a year and has maintained it for over 8 years, completely transformed her life to the point where she doesn't think about food or worry about what she's eating. She lives her life. And that's what I want for you. And that's what you should have. And that's the gift we have using ketones in our programs. But I have Kate down 70 pounds, kept it off for 7 years. Kelly down 50 pounds, kept it off for 50 years. I have a Susie right now that I'm working with. She's down 34 pounds, completely shifting her life, transitioning her life. And what she's building is confidence because she now realizes that she can live this new life. Now, you can drink ketones for the amount of time you want to lose weight, or you can drink them long time because of the anti-aging benefits that come along with that, the brain, the detoxing, the health that you get. That's up to you. But ultimately, we have to create the right environment and then ultimately teach you what else you need to do. So what else should you do with ketones? Well, first off, it's pretty simple. I already made one up. It's a powder. You mix in water, right? I like ice and water, but you can drink it warm. Powder, shake it up, drink it down. Now, what the best thing to do is you just have this for the morning or in the afternoon. That's usually the time most people want it at. And so a lot of people will just replace their breakfast. Now, is it a meal replacement? No, it's not. Can you have it in the morning and use it as an intermittent fasting tool? Absolutely, and it works extremely well. Especially in the morning when you wake up, if you have cravings, you're sleepy, you're tired, you don't feel very good, you might as well start your day feeling awesome, right? So that's the best time to have it for you. But for some of you, you wake up every day and you're like, I have completely control. I want to intermittent fast. I don't need to eat right away in the morning. I have energy in the morning. For you, I want you to start in the afternoon. Have it between 1 and 3. Now, yes, you can do both. I do both. I do morning and afternoon, but you don't have to. And so either way, that's the way you want to start for whatever you're used to doing for you. Because what it's going to do is in the afternoon, it's going to give you sustained energy, prevent you from crashing. You're not going to come home feeling super hungry or hangry. You're going to have good sleep. You're going to feel great. You're going to have energy for your kids and your family when you get home. It's a pretty good winner if you do it in the afternoon. Now, some of you might have it in the morning and feel like that all day long. That's going to be something you have to figure out for yourself. The next thing I know is that you're going to have to move more. Yes, exercise is super important. You got to start somewhere. You have to move your body more than you were. If you're going to sustain it, you want to learn how to become more active. It might be just walking, might be, I don't care if you're in a wheelchair, you got to do more. I'm just telling you, you got to do more. And I want to encourage you to ways to do that. But if you have energy and focus and you feel good, guess what? You move more. So it works out pretty simple for you. And then the other thing is stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. Good news is with those ketones, you drink it in water. You tend to drink more anyway. Pretty cool. Ketones are a diuretic, so you got to stay hydrated. You got to drink a lot of water. That in itself is a very helpful tip. But it comes to food. People are always like, what do I eat? Remember, this is not a diet. It's not the ketogenic diet. You do not have to follow the ketogenic diet, nor do I even recommend it unless it's really medically necessary, or if you're a crazy freak like myself. I've been following a modified ketogenic diet for most of my adult life. Then you can do it. But most people can't sustain it. And then what they do is they go on a ketogenic diet, they eat all this fat, and they don't eat enough protein, which is very common, and that's a mistake. And then what they do is they're like, well, I can't sustain that, but I'm going to come back over here and start eating carbohydrates again or whatever. But they stop eating all the fat. They don't stop eating all the fat and they get fat. And I'm like, well, you can't combine all of it together. It doesn't work that way, right? Yeah, fat may not be dangerous if you're eating a ketogenic diet, but it might be dangerous if you're eating a high carb diet. Does that make sense? Because they don't mix and then you gain weight and it causes a lot of other problems. So what you want to do is, and I tell people when you start, is just focus on protein. Because no matter what diet you're following, we want to make sure you hit your protein goals. So we intermittent fast, start at noon, eat till 8 every day? No. 3 to 5 times a week, intermittent fasting. Depends on your goals. The more aggressive you want to be, go 5 times a week. Less aggressive, 3 times a week, intermittent fast. The other 2 days, just eat breakfast. Eat a meal. Because I want you to make sure you feed your body. You don't always want to just be cutting weight all the time. You want to reduce calories, eat a little bit more. Reduce calories, eat a little bit more. Just choose good food, okay? So your protein goals. Women, 50 to 100 grams of protein. 70 is a good starting point. Can it vary? Yes, but that's a good measurement for you to start. Shoot for 70, between 50 and 100. Men, between 100 and 200. If you're a freak athlete, then you know what you're doing, so you eat more. But most men on average, 120 to 150. That's what you want to shoot for, okay? Between 100 and 100 and 200 is good. 120 to 150 is what you want to shoot for. And you want to do that every day. Every day. So if you're eating between 12 and 8 and you get your protein in, it's hard to overeat everything else. And then I tell people, hey, focus on whole foods, or focus on, if you want to go more low carb for some could be under 100, others under 50, others under 30, others under 20. The lower you go, the more your body's going to probably get a little bit faster, but it's also the harder to sustain it. And so I often recommend people to be a little bit more patient on the results so they can sustain it and change their life and learn how to live this new lifestyle. But sometimes I have people go super low carb for 5 days. And then we have a cool program. We call it the belly burn or the iFast. We changed the name, but it's 5 days long and it's super intense, super low carb. And that's great for a little window. But then outside that window, you want to try to follow something that's more sustainable to you. Okay. So you're going to eat between 12 and 8. Focus on protein first. And if you want to be more low carb, focus on low carb vegetables and then enjoy mixing them with some fat. You know, saute them in butter, olive oil, things like that. That's great. Avocados, awesome. Okay. If you don't want to be low carb, you don't have to be. Just choose whole foods. Choose more natural foods. Choose foods that are Mediterranean style, right? Are fruit off the limits? No, it's not. You can eat kind of whatever you want in that window. What I'm focused on is ketones are going to help create the environment. And you reducing your calories, focus on your protein goals, okay? If you're talking about fruit not hitting your protein goals, then we shouldn't be talking about fruit. Does that make sense? You got to focus on your protein goals. Hit your protein goals, then I don't really care what else you eat unless you're in a health environment where your health is really jeopardized, your doctor or your nutritionist needs you on a ketogenic or a low carb diet, then you got to follow that. And you might choose a little bit of berries and things like that that could be more suitable in that diet. Depends on the severity of the extreme of the diet you need to follow. So I hope that makes sense. But ultimately, I want you thinking about is what are you going to do to sustain this? What can you keep going on? And then be patient. You're looking at losing about a pound to 2 pounds a week. 2 pounds a week is very aggressive. A pound to 2 pounds a week is really realistic. And so be patient on that. Can you lose more faster? Yes, but typically that's the water weight, not the fat weight. I care about the fat weight, protect your metabolism, not so much about the water weight. Although if you're not healthy, you're carrying a lot of excessive fluid, well, those things can come off your body with ketones. They're going to dump and it's going to flush out, which is great. But that was just some unhealthy weight. It wasn't actually fat that you're ultimately looking to burn. So y'all, this will transform and change your life forever. It'll give you the chance to set yourself up for long-term success. And that's why we are the number one health company in the world. But more importantly, we have the number one tool in the world to change your life and sustain it. And I don't care what else you try. This ketones should go along with it because it's going to protect you from all the damage those other things are causing you and keep you healthy through your journey. But this can be done by itself and transform your life forever. So cheers, y'all. Have a good night.